Today's episode is brought to you by the Western Extension Risk Management Education Center, USDA NIFA, the University of Hawaii College of Tropical Ag and Human Resources, the Livestock Extension Group, and the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Center for Ag Profitability.
Aloha, welcome to the Livestock Walaʻau, a podcast aimed to provide educational support, information, guidance, and outreach to our livestock stakeholders in Hawaii and the rest of the U.S. We are your hosts, Mele Oshiro and
Shannon Sand.
And today in our mini episode, we're just going to be talking about some updates this month, some updates on events and reminders of things that we've been reminding and sharing with you.
Yep. One of those important things that we like to remind you of is our Feedback Fest. So the feedback that we get from y'all really does help us know if we're on the right track and helps guide us in terms of topics and things you want us to cover or people you want us to talk to specifically. So if you could give us feedback, we greatly appreciate that. And that's a continuous thing that we have going on all the time. So you want to make sure you have your voice heard. Woo!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other survey we still have going is our beef consumer survey, which helps to gain a better understanding of the consumer's behavior when purchasing local beef here in Hawaii. And our project team has created this short survey. You may have seen it around. We've sent it around on our social media. So if you do have it, share it with those that are here in Hawaii. This is focused on Hawaii beef consumption for local beef. So if you have any questions, and of course, all the information collected is confidential and anonymous. Any questions, you can get in touch with myself. Our email will be, and phone numbers will all be in the show notes of this podcast. So that's our beef consumer survey for Hawaii. And now, just some updates. Let's start with, I guess, some funding opportunities or things that we want you to just be aware of, different programs that are available to you out there as livestock producers. You know, our farm service agency has a lot of different programs. They all sometimes have different deadlines. And one of the ones that we wanted to just share was the reimbursement of transportation cost payment program, so RTCP. The enrollment began July 10th and it runs all the way through September 8th for this year, and that is for deadline for producers to get supporting documentation for November 3rd of this year. So those deadlines for that program is coming up, and you know that you can find, we'll put links in here to the program and sort of what the transportation cost reimbursement is, but it sort of is aimed for farmers and livestock producers to help reimburse them for a portion of the cost to transport agriculture commodities and also the inputs used to produce those agriculture commodities. So it's not just the transport, like for our livestock producers that are sending animals off island, you can also use it to help cover costs if you're bringing in feed loads from, you know, feed suppliers or whatnot, and so that'll help to cover some of those costs as well. So get in there, you know, not too many. It's sort of a newer program that's been kind of reinstated within the last few years. So go find out more, contact the local FSA office. They can definitely help you with that as well.
Oh, and in the last few weeks, at least in Nebraska, we've had some days where it's well over 100 degrees. And so just as a reminder that if you need to, LIP, or the Livestock Indemnity Program to assist with weather-related losses, does cover like high heat. So you just have to make sure you report those losses to the Farm Service Agency or FSA within 30 days. So the Livestock Indemnity Program provides financial benefits to producers who suffer livestock losses above normal mortality due to adverse weather, which can include extreme heat. Producers also can receive some compensation for livestock that have been injured as a direct result of an eligible adverse weather event and were sold at a reduced price due to that injury within 30 calendar days of the end date of the weather event. So for those that have suffered some potential losses and things like that, you know, contact your FSA office, see if that's up and running. So that's been sent out on the wire via USDA FSA to everybody. So at least in Nebraska, but yeah.
And there might be other programs that are available in your local area. So contact the local FSA office in your county and just ask what programs are available at this point and things, because you do have to kind of get on the paperwork, you know, and have the records
and the calendar schedule with them.
So, and I want to believe like weather events, any program that is that is a result of a weather event or reimbursement from a weather event, it has to be within like 30 days. It has to be pretty quick. Some of them are
Yeah,
as
you got
much as
this
like
quick turnaround.
72 hours. So you can't,
Yeah.
wait 6 months and then try to report it. So get in
Hmm.
touch with them and find out the details of those programs that are available. And some events
Yeah.
going on this
Woo,
coming
woo.
month.
So August 8th, Long Live Women in Ag Conference. That's a live one or in person, I should say, not a live one. It's all live in Blair, Nebraska. August 9th, the Nebraska Landlord Tenant Cash Rent Workshop in Grand Island, Nebraska is taking place. August 16th, the Landlord Tenant Cash Rent Workshop is taking place in Lincoln, Nebraska. And then August 21st, the Ag Land Management Quarterly Report for Nebraska will be an online webinar and will be hosted by the Center for Ag Profitability. So,
Yeah, and then locally here, we're gonna have it's a worker protection standard webinar. So for the WPS, if you've seen that around, not everyone's familiar with it, but it's for farm and ranch owners, managers, employees, and any contract workers that you have in the field that they're either working in the field, they handle, or they apply pesticides. It is a requirement for them to have the worker protection safety training done annually. So we are putting this on through Extension. It's going to be an online webinar August 16th from 3 to 4:15 in the afternoon. We'll put the links for registration is required. And for anybody who has like restricted use pesticide license and you need to maintain your credits, this course will qualify for a credit. But you need to have your registration done and the form submitted to us and whatnot in order to get those credits. So there's different worker protection, I guess, standard applications that you need, one for the handler and one for the worker. So if you have stuff that's being sprayed on your property and you have folks going into that field within 30 days of an application, they should have this WPS training. It is a federal requirement. Not too many people know that it is a federal requirement. So anyways, we are doing this online. We will have a few coming up, but the next one is August 16th at 3 to 4:15. So we'll put the links for the registration for that webinar in our show notes as well. And then another one that's quickly coming up, literally probably the day that this goes out, is going to be the Hawaii Women's Farmers Network is hosting a small farm businesses in Hawaii campaign. So they're sharing a webinar online looking at owners regarding liability and crop losses, opportunities for improving insurance programs and reducing risk. So this is a sort of interactive session. We will put the links out for this as well. You do need to have a registration for it, but it doesn't start until 10. So we'll put all that information out for you. Yeah. And then coming up this month.
Yep, we're going to have a little discussion between the two of
Yeah.
us about small scale livestock production. So
Yeah.
Melee will mostly lead that. So
yeah, we'll just talk a little bit about that and how to get started and different things to consider if you're thinking about your production in a smaller scale, right?
yes, because
So
everybody has to start somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about that this month. And then our livestock days in August.
August 8th is National Frozen Custard Day.
That just sounds great.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. And August 13th, National Filet Mignon Day.
That also sounds really good.
Who doesn't love that?
August 18th is National Fajita Day.
Yep. And August 19th, World Honeybee Day.
Yay.
Hawaii is a big exporter of honeybees, queen bees, I should say, not honeybees, but queen bees, producer and exporter of that. So it's a big part of our industry here. So interesting.
That's amazing.
There. Yeah.
Hawaii has like a very diverse, ag industry.
Yeah, we
covers all the things, all the things.
Yeah, those little things that we can continue to produce year round, right? So yeah, but the queen bees are one of them.
Yep. So. With that, make sure to follow us on our social media pages, the Livestock Walaʻau and the Livestock Extension Group if you haven't already. Be sure to visit the CTAHR Extension website and our YouTube channel listed in the show notes.
That's right. For additional information about this or any other topics or comments, send us an email at walaau@hawaii.edu. And thanks again for listening to the Livestock Walaʻau.
Yep. Before we go, show some love for your favorite podcast by leaving us a review on Apple Podcast. Then stay tuned for next month.
Yeah, thanks again to our sponsors, the Western Extension Risk Management Education Center, USDA NIFA, the Livestock Extension Group, CTAHR, and the University of Nebraska Lincoln Extension and Center for Ag Profitability. Mahalo for listening. Ahui ho.
Ahui ho.